On tonight's episode of Obscured Reality, join us as we fly from Orange County, California to the nearby island of Catalina and check out the Catalina UFO events. They've been happening for decades in this area of the ocean. What are they? Even the now infamous Tic Tac event was in the waters nearby. What are these things? Come along with us and find out. Sit down, sit back, and relax, and join us on our journey through obscured reality.
Welcome to another episode of Obscured Reality. Join your hosts, Mark and Stephanie, as they take you through a journey of the extraordinary, bizarre, and often frightening world of the unknown. Explore topics of the paranormal, UFOs, alien abduction, lost civilizations, mythical monsters, and other unexplained mysteries. Come along with us as we transcend into another dimension of obscured reality.
Welcome back to Obscured Reality. I'm your host, Mark, and your co-host, Stevie. How's it going?
It's going good. How are you?
I'm good. I mean, I could be better. A little more sleep, a little less work, a little more money, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, actually, I take that back. A lot more money.
I had a
A
lot
lot.
more sleep in my case, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I know how that goes. Sucks, but
Well, I injured
know.
myself working out last week, and
Yeah.
I hurt like right where my neck and my shoulders meet. So I haven't been able to like sleep more than 4 hours for a week. And so yeah.
A leave.
Mm, Tylenol, Aleve, ibuprofen, a good
Man.
100 or 800 to 1,000 doesn't even touch the pain
Yeah.
that I've been
Hey,
dealing with.
hey, well, you know what they
So
say. You only die once. I mean, you only live once.
you could die multiple times. I mean, that's the thing.
Technically, yeah. Well, then
Technically.
you can live multiple times. Yeah. So, well, we'll get into what we're gonna do tonight in a minute. But got a quick update on a previous show we did. The those lights that we're seeing over Las Vegas.
Yeah.
That there's been no updates on in the news, of course. Who
Hmm.
knows what the hell it was, but you know, Nellis, Nevada Test and Training Range is right there. So,
Mhm.
you know, but yeah, we had one of our subscribers comment on that video, Yolandi Hardy 9421, and she said, "Type in Las Vegas lights, and then filter that out for the current week." Oh, and lo and behold, another video. So I got a video to share. This is another video of those lights that were seen recently over Las
Hmm.
Vegas.
All right.
So we want to take a look at those real quick. Just quick update on this, and then
That's actually
we'll
kind
move
of
it on.
cool.
Yeah, so it's a different angle. Someone else
Mhm.
recorded it as well. There's audio. The audio, again, as usual, doesn't matter. So you guys can go look it up on your own. Um, but it's just a quick, here's what was recorded. Um, Now, the other video we showed, you just saw the lights. They didn't do anything. They just stayed
Mhm.
there. This one, there's a little bit more to it, but you also get a good view of the strip, which is right there, and why the other guy had said they believed it to be over the strip.
Mhm.
But let's take a look at this video and see what we got going on here. So let's hit play on this right now and see what we got here. You got two lights, kind of what
Mhm.
we saw in the other video, but we saw four in the other one. Um, that's going to change in a minute, though. There's number
Oh.
three, there's number
Oh.
four. Now, I will say they're kind of coming on as if you would expect to see from flares. Of course, we know from
There
the
looks to
eyewitness.
be more than 4.
Well, we know
Or
from the
maybe it's just the
eyewitness
camera.
account what they said, and what you see in the video as well. I
Mhm.
believe that we're not looking at flares.
Oh, yeah, but it definitely looks like there's more than 4. Like, the way that the
Yeah.
last 2 or 3, like, pop up, it's almost like
Well, they
2 of
pop up
them
like
are
flares would.
super close, and then 1, again, like, right after it.
Well, I mean, it's
Mhm.
night. You don't know what it is, what's causing it
Right.
or anything, right? So perspective is crap.
Mm,
And you don't know, let's say it was a plane dropping flares or a helicopter, something. You don't know which way that thing's going, so you don't know what angle it's dropping those at. So they could appear
mhm,
close, but they're actually, all that bullshit.
mhm, mhm,
But this is just the other video, guys, that's out there. Um, and the previous person had said they believed these to be over the strip.
mhm.
So I just wanted to share a quick update on that and
Hmm,
let y'all know there's another video out there. Thank you, Yolandi Hardy.
awesome.
Um, definitely, definitely welcomed. Um,
Mhm.
so
I've been to
tonight,
the Strip
though,
once.
yeah, yeah,
Yep.
I like it. I'm
I didn't
never,
stay, I just drove straight through it.
yeah. If there is something weird flying around over there, I'd never see it being on the strip. Those buildings are too tall, and there's too much going on.
Oh,
You're
good
not going to
lord,
look up.
yes.
Yeah, and that's why these people see it
Mhm.
because 'cause they're not on the strip. They're
Yeah.
at their home or up in a hill where they're
Mhm,
overlooking everything, right? And that's
mhm.
why I've finally seen stuff
Yes.
where I'm at. Same scenario. But, yeah, tonight, didn't have a chance to type anything up. I hand wrote it. I didn't get a chance to correct that and put it
How
where I
very
needed it,
90s of
but,
you.
well, I mean, they still make paper.
I know,
We
weird, huh?
still yeah, we still kill trees, so why not use it? Hey, have you ever heard of Catalina Island?
Yes, I
Off
have
the
heard
coast you have, yeah.
I
Off
have
the
heard of
coast
Ca
of Southern California,
I have heard of Catalina
right?
Island, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, right off, LA County and Orange County. I'm sure a
Yep,
lot of you out there are aware of where that's at. Well, we
mhm,
have the Santa Catalina Channel right there. It's between the coast of California and Catalina. Supposedly it gets pretty deep, but it's always been a hot spot for UFO, UAP activity
hmm,
and USO activity. Um, a lot of it's been up around the Malibu area, but it's come down south as far as San Diego. Obviously, we know the now infamous videos that are out there, the Tic Tac, Gimbal, Go
mhm,
Fast. One or two of those were from the military training off the coast of Southern California. They're just past those islands, Catalina and
mhm,
south of there. But this whole area has been a hotspot for a long time, and we're talking decades and decades and decades and decades. There's
yeah,
still an article out there I'm trying to find. It's from way back in the day. I've been searching. I cannot find it, but one day I will find it, and we will do it on here. Of people back in the day seeing so many odd, weird lights doing weird things out over the coast here that they were going out there nightly. I mentioned on the show before they'd go out
mhm,
there nightly to
mhm,
watch and see if they could see these things.
mhm.
So you can't deny things are happening, right? It
No.
is what it is. So this channel has been a hotspot for a long time. So we'll go over a couple of these. I got one video for y'all, but we'll go through a few of these eyewitness accounts, and these are very credible people as well. So
Mhm,
I think that adds something here. But we'll start in 1966. So this is in the Catalina channel, 1966. I'll play the video. I think it was March. Um, there was a dude flying a plane. I believe this was the one. They got video of this thing around, I believe, 9:30 a.m. Silver disc shape, and it's estimated at 130 to 170 miles per hour. Um, at one point. Um, I wouldn't say it's doing that in this video, but we're going to pull up the video. All right, so this is a video. Right now, it's paused. What you see there in the middle, that's what we're watching. Keep in mind, 1966, okay? Let's play it. Oh, sorry. April 1966. Okay.
Okay.
So it's not doing anything crazy,
Mm.
and we'll play it one more time here. Um, there we go. Slow moving on the opposite
Yeah,
side of the island,
that is really
possibly, or
slow.
yeah, or above it. It appears slow, but again, depends on what angle it's flying at. Maybe it's
Mhm.
flying to the left, but away from them, not just directly right to left, right? So if it's flying
Right.
away, it's going to appear moving slower to the left.
Right.
Whatever. That's the video.
Mm.
It's important to note 1966, right? The chance of that being faked, probably zero. Possible, but I mean, I'm not saying it couldn't be an airplane or something, but what I'm saying is editing a video, splicing things in and out, gonna be much harder back then with the
True, but they
technology.
also had trick photography since, like, the early 1800s. So,
Yeah,
who's to say what they may or may not could have done? Because I don't truly know the tech of, like, the '60s as to what was considered possible. I didn't
yeah,
think that, like, trick photography was a thing until, like, the late 1800s, but apparently it was, like, a huge thing in the early 1800s when it first, like, came about, so who knows? But
yeah, yeah. I
the
don't
chances of
believe.
it being
Yeah,
edited is, yes, slim to none.
the I was watching some stuff about this,
Mhm,
and they did have a person who specializes in that type of thing
mhm.
study it and take a look at it to verify it. And they said basically from what they could tell, that video is completely legit. And
Okay.
they go in and do it by looking at pixels and all this stuff in there, and
Mhm,
seeing, because from that they can tell if something was possibly overlaid over a video and
mhm.
added in there, things like that. But
Mm.
it was legit. So
Okay, okay.
um, each one of these I have, we're going to keep kind of short, just so we can go through them. There's not a
Mm,
ton here, but as far as what I have for you is short, but
okay.
it's just the facts, the details that we need.
Yeah.
We can talk about each one, of course, but so this one, Noah Feliz. I don't know exactly when, but approximately 30 years ago, and I don't know when this came out. What I was,
Is that a place or a name?
it's a
Noah
name,
F Okay, that's a
Noah
great name.
Feliz.
I like the name.
Yeah. So about 30 years ago from what I was looking up, but we can just say 30 years ago from now, approximate. Doesn't really matter. It's a long time ago. He was flying a small plane. He was out over the channel near Catalina Island, and he saw something. This is going to be a USO event, unidentified submerged object.
So back in
So
'93.
he saw something. It was in the water.
Mhm.
Um, I believe there was like rippling in the water, stuff like that. So because it was right under, he couldn't really tell a shape or anything other than it was large.
Okay, I understand what you're
And
saying by rippling.
he he basically saw it. Couldn't
Mm,
believe what he was seeing. He was like, "Well, basically, what the hell is this?"
right.
He flew around. From what I was able to find, it looked like he flew around the backside of the island,
Mm,
so opposite of California, and came back around and went over
mhm.
it. When he came back over, he said the USO shot out a beam of light that hit his plane. It literally was glowing inside the cockpit. It was that bright. It blinded him. Um, and at some point, he said it hit it with a second beam of light. The way it was portrayed from what I saw was like the original light got brighter, like it had mainly or possibly shut off the main light and turned on a
Mhm.
different one, right?
Mhm.
Don't really know, but he said a second beam. So something identified to him that a second beam hit him at some point. When
Okay.
that happened, he basically said he was blinded. He had no control of the aircraft. It was moving on his own. He said the you could no longer feel the engine vibration in the seat. So, he doesn't know if the engine shut off or what the deal was, but you could no longer feel it, and it was
Mm,
basically he said he knew the plane was still moving because the light was getting brighter as he was getting closer to this USO. So he
Mm.
knew the plane was moving, but nothing worked, and it appeared to be under control, but not his. And basically, to his knowledge, he crashed into this thing. He thinks he crashed into this thing. But basically, he went down in the ocean, and this was just off a spot called Ripper's Cove. Now,
What a name.
they, yeah, they have gone out there
Mhm.
and did some testing, put one of those um, little submarine looking things they tote behind a boat, sonar,
Yeah.
and dragged that pretty deep. It's believed it was only about 40 to 50 feet of water, maybe 60, and they were unable to find it. But the
The
story's
plane?
interesting now. Yeah, they've not found it yet. I mean, it's a big fucking
They
ocean,
never
you know?
mm,
No. But they do have it from law enforcement out there.
mhm,
Yep, it happened. It was in Ripper's Cove right around there. It's verified. It happened.
mhm,
It's a real thing. Now, some of this I didn't write down, but I'm just going off memory here. The details of the event are interesting. He basically crashed, okay, and into the water. I believe he had a passenger with him. The passenger died, but he did not. To his knowledge, he was underwater for about 20 minutes. The Baywatch out there is what rescued him. I don't know exactly where they found him, but he was not in the water. He was unconscious, and they
but
found him. They rescued him, not in the water. So what that
where
basic,
did
yeah,
they rescue him from?
what I don't know, but what that
Mm,
means is what he's saying for those that are going to investigate if they can wind up finding the plane is the seatbelt should still be intact,
mhm,
right? Unless something happened to the seatbelt upon impact, but he
mhm,
doesn't believe it was a big impact. The seatbelt should be intact. He said the only way he would have been able to get out if he hadn't not lost consciousness would have been the windshield. But like he said, he was out and he was rescued. I believe it was on land. I could look it up real quick, but what's his name? No, Noah Feliz. So to his knowledge, he's saying things should be intact in the plane, and that right there should prove that something odd happened.
mhm.
And unless you have scuba gear and you purposely crash your plane in the water, you're not going to take the time to try and wiggle out of a seatbelt without undoing the seatbelt, right?
Yeah,
So,
especially if you're
under,
unconscious.
well, I'm saying unless you had scuba gear, obviously
Yeah, oh,
you
yeah, yeah,
were
yeah.
conscious, of course, but um, so those details are there, and if the plane can be found, they can easily look at some of the details in there and see, does it
Mhm.
look odd?
Oh, his passenger apparently was his cousin. I just pulled it up.
Okay.
Yeah, that's sad. That's really sad.
Does it say where he was
Um,
found?
I'm scanning through it real fast. You know how, like, in articles, they like to throw in a whole bunch of
Yeah,
information in the middle of the story and, like, not get to the point?
yeah.
Like me?
No biggie. Yeah, so that is a really interesting one.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, I can't find where he was found. However, I am seeing some articles about his questionability. Man living in New York claimed he was once rescued by aliens, is facing a federal felony, and is accused of lying to renew his pilot's license. So he's 70 years old now, approximately, lying on a federal form to renew his medical certs as a pilot.
Oh.
We know that's not good.
Mm,
Um,
that's
yeah. Okay. So this happened in 1980. That's when it was. They were flying
mhm,
over there. This was 1980. Um, oh, that's right. He said it was a beam of like liquid light. Now, not liquid, but it was something we described in one of the previous episodes that
mhm.
someone had described, where the light was kind of like undulating, like it looked like moving water, kind of in a
Yeah.
way. Um, he was 28 when this incident took place. He claims it happened.
Mm.
It did happen. He did crash.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
know that. So
yeah.
that's the thing.
I did see something talking about it, about like verified crashes around Catalina Island,
Yeah.
but I didn't want to open it because it was like going to be a whole list of verified crashes.
Yeah, and okay, it there's something in there about he had a prior convictions as well, but it's like,
Mhm.
well, the guy really likes flying, right? I mean,
But don't.
what if he doesn't what if he doesn't think his medical condition that he has is something that's that big of an issue where he shouldn't be flying? But you know how there's always little regulations and a lot of them are BS, and maybe it's something like that, without knowing the
Or
details, who
I
might have
mean,
cast
but
doubt
there's
on
a
him?
reason. There's a reason that things are placed in the
Oh, I
law
know.
most of the time.
Yeah.
Kind of like how McDonald's cups have to say caution hot. There's one
That's only because they
idiot.
got sued and they were
There's
allowed to get sued.
one idiot that messes it all up for everyone else. But in some cases, it's one idiot that makes the case for
Yeah,
everybody else.
yeah, yep,
So I mean, like,
yep.
I don't know, like people who are legally blind, like it's like, oh, I know I'm legally blind, but I'm gonna drive without glasses because I can still technically see. I just can't actually see. That's not what that sounds like
Uh,
to me. Like we're
mm,
trying to justify, oh, it's not that bad, but really, in actuality, it probably is
well,
that bad, and there's a reason why you weren't being able to renew.
again, without knowing the specifics, like what
Yeah,
that condition is and all that, it's
but if you have to lie on your
can't even
form,
really
clearly,
speculate.
clearly, it was enough.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and flying serious, right? Like, if it's
I would
something they
hope
deem
so.
that you shouldn't be flying, then you shouldn't be flying because I don't want to take a chance of you crashing into my house and killing all us.
I mean, you already killed your cousin when you crashed into the ocean.
You can't say he did. We don't know why he crashed. He's saying from this thing he saw,
Under
but
mysterious circumstances, someone has died in your presence while you were flying a machine, so
well,
is that
again,
better?
I'm going to point out, and this
Mhm,
isn't, to cast credibility or no credibility,
mhm.
but that the entire area has been a hotspot
Oh,
for
yeah.
a long time, and we're talking USOs, we're talking lights under the water at night, we're
Mhm,
talking UFOs. Um, Damn, there was a show on YouTube I was watching. I've probably seen it a couple times now, where they've been investigating, and they now have they basically what they were doing is they threw some people. They rented a house on Catalina, and they also had someone out here, Southern California in Orange County, with a truck up on some of these hills down in, I think it was Laguna Beach,
mhm,
that go high up and look right over the ocean. You can see Catalina,
mhm.
and this vehicle, it's a SUV, is outfitted with tons of shit on it for cameras, sensing, all this stuff, and to record
Cool.
and follow things. And they had
Okay.
someone somewhere else as well, and they saw some stuff. And the point was, is if they did see something, to get multiple angles on this thing so they could triangulate, figure out exactly how fast, how high, all this type of stuff. So
Mhm,
point is, it is a hotbed. And
mhm,
the other point is, this was like 30 years ago. What was it, 1980? So how well was it known back then that it was a hotspot? It wasn't in the news that
mhm.
much. It
I
really
can't
wasn't
answer that because I didn't that wasn't even a thing, so
well, yeah, but I mean, the stigma was so much more
mhm.
back then,
I Yeah.
But either way, moving on
Mhm.
to December 29th, 1968. This was in the afternoon. A guy by the name of Paul Allion from Palos Verdes. Do you know where Palos Verdes is?
Negative.
Okay, so it's in Los Angeles
It sounds
County.
expensive to live there, though.
Yeah, I believe it's. Oh, you know what? I don't even want to talk about where Palos Verdes is. I'm thinking of San Pedro, which we'll get into here in a little while. I'm getting confused. But anyways, it's LA County, but I believe
Mhm,
close to the ocean there. Um, this guy saw strange lights over the channel. So basically, over the ocean between California coastline and
mhm,
Catalina,
right.
strange liquid. Liquid. I'm sorry. Strange lights over the channel, They flew in formation and they stopped above the water. They had, I believe, descended and stopped above the water. He grabbed a walkie-talkie. So he was a kid at
Mhm.
this point. He had gotten some walkie-talkies for Christmas. Okay. He grabbed a walkie-talkie in his kid mind to get on there and hit the button and try and talk to the UFOs he was seeing, right? These strange lights.
That's so fucking
He
cute.
grabbed the walkie-talkie to try to talk to the UFO. I mean, it's a kid's mind,
That's adorable, dude. I wish it was that
and
easy.
that's some adults' minds too.
Yeah,
Hell, I'd probably do it if I had a working walkie-talkie. You never know, right?
true.
Um, so he grabbed the walkie-talkies,
Mhm.
and what he picked up when he turned them on was a ship to shore transmission. So someone transmitting out there on the water back to someone on the
Yeah.
shore. Um, this person was describing to whoever was on land exactly what this guy Paul, was seeing. So he wasn't the only one. Unfortunately, he's the one that is speaking about it.
Mhm.
It would be nice to get this other person,
Right.
find out who
From
the
the
hell
ship
they
to
are.
shore. Yeah.
Yeah. So again,
Mm.
another instance of over this channel, and
Mhm.
now we have people on land, on the mainland, seeing the stuff.
Mhm.
Um, January 23rd, 1968. Oh, hmm. Sounds like a flap to me almost. This is like what, a month later. So, oh no, I'm sorry, 12 months earlier. I'm seeing December and then January. I'm not thinking they're both 1968. My mind is messed up today. I'm telling you, I was so busy. I'm just fried. I took Monday off. Yesterday I just said, "Hey, I'm off on Monday. I'm not going to come in. I'm taking the day off."
Look,
My
I
mind's
don't blame
fried
you.
right now.
I don't blame
Hey,
you.
you little obscured fuckers out there, you know what I'm talking about. You know how it goes. We all know, right? It's not just me.
Yeah, they put me back on, like, 4 10s, so I
Yeah.
totally get the brain fry at fucking 9 to 7 every day.
Hey, is what it is. All
Mm.
right, so 12 months earlier, 11
Mhm,
months earlier, January 1968,
mhm.
um, a deputy in Avalon. Avalon is a little city, little town on Catalina Island. Okay,
On
uh,
Catalina?
on Catalina Island.
Okay.
The one of the main spot you would go into if you were to take one of the
How
big ships right here
big is
to
Catalina Island?
look it up. It's not huge. It's big, but
You
it's
guys are
not that
so
big. So if you take one of these ships from Orange County, LA County, or San Diego that goes to Catalina,
Mhm,
one of the ferries or whatever you want to call it, typically that's where they go into is Avalon. Avalon's the main one you usually see in pictures of Catalina with all the boats in the harbor right there, anchored right out in the little cove.
mhm. Oh, okay.
So
Cute little
how
town.
big? Yeah. Did you
Oh,
see
I
how
just
big
it
or?
just popped up a picture
Okay.
of it, and it has to be that town because there's, like, a little harbor, and it
Yeah.
looks kind of adorable. Okay.
Yeah. So a deputy in Avalon saw a floating object with lights in its portholes, and then it exploded. There wasn't much more to it than that. There was a tiny bit, but it didn't really matter. Something about some crap shooting up in the air. Um, don't want to look too much into the wording of portholes. Might suggest it's a ship or some type of boat, something, right? But
Right.
you got to remember, someone's just describing
What they
what
would
it is
see
they're
with the
seeing,
words that they know. Yeah.
right?
I mean,
So
there
that's
have
all
been
that is.
pictures of UFOs that have, like, little almost portholes around the sides of it, so
Yep.
I get it.
Yeah.
I
A
understand what
lot
they're
of
trying to say.
a lot of the claims of UFOs, especially back then,
Mm,
um, describe portholes or
mm,
windows and figures moving around inside. So, hey, looks like a duck, talks like a duck, walks like a duck. So it's a goddamn duck. You
mm,
can't dismiss every single case. We now know 100% as a fact, you guys know, there is definitively something going on.
mhm.
something's happening, shit is being seen in the sky. Out of all the instances I've had, I have two I cannot explain. Never happened to me since moving here, right? I'm in the area, Southern California. I'm not the only one who's seen shit. Something is happening that can't be described as commonly known aircraft that we know about, technology that we know about.
Mhm.
So, that's a fact. What it is not a fact. Nobody knows, right? But
Mhm.
um, so March 1977, this guy was a sergeant. So there were reports from Sacramento, Salinas, Los Angeles County, Orange County, and March Air Force Base. Witnesses from March Air Force Base. So military personnel witnessed this as well.
Isn't
Um,
Sacramento north by Modesto? I have
girl,
no idea.
keep
Or is it?
going.
Oh, it's
Keep
much
going.
farther north?
Basically, go up to San Francisco, right in the middle of California, and then head
That's where
east.
Sacramento is?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
it's fucking far.
Oh, shit.
Well, I mean, far depending on where you're at, right?
True,
If you live in Sacramento, then Sacramento's not far.
my whole geography of, like, where cities are in California is,
Oh, I know.
despite living there for a year, is
We've
still
we've
all
already
jacked
verified.
up.
We've already verified your California geography is fucking obscure as hell.
Hey, look. Hey, look. It
Hey,
happens.
is what it is. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's way up there. Um, so let's see reports from all those areas, including March Air Force Base. Look up March Air Force Base, see where that is. I believe that's Southern California. Um,
Oh, it is by Modesto. I was right.
oh, is it?
Yeah.
So this was between 3:45 to 4 a.m. Um, witnesses include several military personnel and law enforcement as well. Okay.
Mhm.
So these people were reporting it also. Mark Hogan, he was a runway worker at Los Angeles International Airport, LAX. You have
Mhm.
all heard of that. He said he saw a teardrop or tin can shaped lights that moved at a high speed from Catalina. So moving towards the California coast from Catalina area. Um, March Air Force Base, they said they did not show anything on radar that night, keeping in mind they also had people there that witnessed it. Okay. So, what? What you got?
I just didn't realize that you could see the island
Where's
from
March?
LAX. Oh, no, I know where
Oh,
March
yeah.
is.
Yeah.
March is, just south of San Bernardino. Um,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Is it by
by
Paris?
Riverside.
That's the one by Paris.
Yeah,
Paris
Paris.
Valley?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, I know where that's at. So that's inland, and they saw it
Mhm.
too. So
Mhm.
that would tell me, because you can't see Catalina from March
Oh,
fucking Air Force Base. That would
no.
tell me that this thing came in over land as well.
Yeah, because there's a whole ass
Mar-
mountain range between March
right,
and the beach.
right,
Okay, there's
and
Catalina.
and obviously Sacramento is way far inland compared to March.
Yes, and it's, like, 5 hours north plus. It was 5 hours from me
That's
in
more than
Victorville.
5.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it was
yeah.
5 for me.
From March Air Force Base, we're talking quite a bit more.
Oh,
But
yeah,
yes,
probably, like, 7.
yeah, so you're talking vast distances, Sacramento all the way down to March Air Force Base in Southern California, basically Riverside County, out to over the ocean as well. And March
Mhm.
isn't on the water; it's inland a bit.
Yeah,
So
pretty decently.
there's that. Let's see here. David Lasso. So this is a new one here. He's a retired attorney. This was in March, I believe, of 2006, about
Mhm.
11:30 p.m. He saw a bright white light near San Pedro. Here's where San Pedro comes in. So you're probably not fully aware of San Pedro is, just so you do know. It, I believe, is considered LA County, and it's real close to the border of LA, Orange County. It's close to Long Beach, if you know where Long Beach is,
Yep.
Queen Mary.
Oh,
So
wow.
if you
Okay,
were to
yep, 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 yep.
drive up to the on a clear day, I can see Long Beach from where I'm at. If
Wow.
I go up on one of these hills, I can see Long Beach looking north. And when
Mm.
I'm sitting there looking at Long Beach, you
Mhm.
can technically San Pedro is right in there.
Mhm. Yeah, it is.
So it's this kind of little point of land that comes out there.
I have stared at that while flying over it out of LAX so many times, and I had no
Mhm.
idea because there's so many, like, ships that, like, dock in that harbor, like, huge
Yes.
cargo ones.
Yep. So that's where you have
Like
the convention center. They
mhm,
have the motorcycle conventions, the car conventions, all that stuff.
mhm,
The big aquarium, Long Beach Aquarium.
hmm,
So he saw a
cool.
bright light near San
Mhm,
Pedro. It stopped over the water. Um, some of the lights. So this craft, the way I saw it described, was either like a triangle or a V type shape, and it had lights coming down each side. So lights coming down in a V,
mhm,
and they were all, I believe, a certain color, and then they turned. Oh God, I want to say they turned blue, or one side of the lights turned blue, and then after that happened, w- one side of the lights shut off,
mhm.
and the thing just went whoop, gone out towards, headed in the direction of Catalina. Just took off, gone.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
So
No, like, just, like, the gone. To be
yeah.
able to have that type of, like, technology just to be like, "Put it into hyperdrive," like they do in the movies, like, that's kinda fucking cool.
Yeah, some of the stuff they were
Mhm,
talking about this, and where I found this, they're going into some other
mhm,
smaller stories about these lights just being 100% completely still, and then just going "Phew," gone. And and that's exactly what I saw here. The
mhm,
light I saw here was super bright, and it just disappeared. It turns out, you'd assume the light stopped when it
mhm,
disappeared because it came back on in the same spot and
mm,
continued. So there was a 2 to 3 second stop there where it just
right.
went from however fast it was going to stop, and then continuing at the speed. I mean, there's too many similarities in a lot of
Mhm,
these stories.
mhm,
And unless people are looking up stories and trying to create their own stories that with some similarities of other ones, so maybe they think it's more believable,
credible,
I
yeah.
can I can tell you I'm not bullshitting, I'm not lying. I saw something,
Mhm.
right? So, you believe me or don't believe me. I know Stevie,
I
I'm sure you
definitely
believe me, but
I do
you know,
believe
you
you.
you
I
guys out there.
low-key have seen some things,
Yeah.
but again, like I told you, after the show one day that it's been, like, over a decade since my last incident, so the
Yeah.
details, unfortunately, are pretty fuzzy on a few of them considering let's
Yeah.
just leave it at the fact I lived with hippies for a couple of years, and we'll just leave it at that. So some details are a
Yeah.
little fuzzy, but one of the
Yeah.
incidents I had was the same situation where it was just like a light in the sky and then just gone, took off at like
Mhm.
Mach Jesus. So like
Yeah.
that's why I'm like, yeah, like I believe those completely
Yep.
when people say it just takes off in the middle, like it's out of
Yeah,
nowhere. I'm like, yeah,
that's the thing.
shared
You
experience.
you you can't deny it anymore.
Mm-mm.
It's happening.
Mhm.
And now it's just a matter of, well, what the hell exactly is it? You know?
Is it
And
us? Is it
and
them? Is it someone else here on Earth?
yeah, I mean, if you're pressed for it and you're said, "Hey, you got 1 minute. We need you to come to a decision. Is it man-made or is it not man-made?" You have to lean towards man-made. If you
Mm,
have to come up with a decision, you
mhm,
have to lean towards man-made. The reason in my mind, the reason why, there's only one form of life in the universe that we know of as of now
mhm,
that has the capability of building things,
mhm,
making things, advancing in technology, and that's humans. So if you're pressed, you have to come to one of the two answers.
mhm,
You kind of have to. But if you're not pressed, then what you need to look at is the shit's been going on for centuries and centuries and centuries and centuries and
mhm,
centuries. Tell me it was us 500 years ago. Tell me it was us 2,000 years ago.
mhm,
Earliest recorded human history, this stuff has been happening, right?
mhm.
So
Like,
you you
there's
can't
hieroglyphs of,
deny.
like, of spaceships, like, oh, what could
Yeah.
be derived as spaceships? There's like images of, space people and astronauts and like people
Yeah.
wearing domes
Yep.
over their
Yep.
heads in Mayan carvings. So,
Yep. I've seen them.
and those are two very world never had contact with each other, worlds apart cultures, like thousands of years apart from
Yeah.
each other, even like.
Now you're saying spaceships and space suits as if that's fact. We don't know that
Well,
that's fact, that that's what they represent. But when you look at it, oh
they
geez, I mean,
they
come on.
describe and appear to be a person in a spacesuit
Yeah,
and space-like
it really
devices,
does.
like, you know, ships flying in the sky.
Yeah, exactly. And I know some of
Mm,
those we looked at some of those pictures on a previous episode at one
mhm.
point, and those ones that have been found with the what looks like a modern day airplane and a modern day helicopter. It looks like a Black Hawk helicopter almost carved these ancient carvings.
Yeah.
And to hear those passed off as well, it could be this or it could be that. The plane one, it's probably just their interpretation of a bird. Fuck you. No way. You tell me they
The
couldn't
people who did the
carve a
Nazca
single bird.
lines knew what a bird looked like, and they couldn't even see what the heck they were doing,
Well, maybe they
supposedly.
could.
Supposedly. Supposedly.
Maybe
I'm
they
sure that
could.
I feel like they could. How, I don't know. But that
Yeah.
the Nazca lines are pretty freaking cool, but, like, I mean,
Yeah.
if someone who supposedly couldn't see what they were doing can draw a bird, pretty sure a Black Hawk isn't going to represent a bird to people who can see what
Well,
they're
no, it's
drawing.
the airplane looking one.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah, I
know if
know.
they had a even close to an explanation for the helicopter looking
Well,
one.
I'm just saying, like,
But
when someone can see what
yeah,
they're drawing, I'm pretty sure
right.
that no one's gonna mistake a airplane or a helicopter as a bird.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree.
Now, if you're
It's
drawing blind, maybe, but
they're just discrediting them to in my mind. That's all
mm,
that it's doing. You're just discrediting this
yeah.
group of people, which is sad because
Mhm,
it's very clear what those appear to be.
mhm.
And there's no way they fucked up a bird that bad that it actually looked like a modern day airplane. Give me a break, man. I mean, who knows what it really is, but we're we're back to walks like a duck, talks like a duck, looks like a duck. So, you remember we also
Mm,
mentioned once a long time ago in this whole channel up by Malibu is where I think you looked up the picture where they had that flat piece of land under the water that was seen on
mhm.
people saw it through Google Earth, and they're saying, "Oh, it's an underwater alien base." And that's when I had mentioned to you as well
Mhm.
that there's rumor that somewhere around there, around here, is possibly a underwater tunnel going way inland
Yep, we did
to
talk
like the
about
middle of
that.
California by the 395 to one of the
Yes,
China Lake or something out there.
yes.
Um, yeah, but the rumors have been here for a long time. People have been seeing shit for a long time. So you guys make up your own mind out there. And while you do that, like, share, and subscribe, please. Comment, 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 comment. Thank you. God, what was her name? I forgot now. Hardy, Yolandi Hardy. Thank you for the
Yolandi,
comment.
yep.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have gone back and looked it up. I've been watching to see if anything else comes up about it in the news
Mhm,
or any new articles. And of course, I've not found anything yet. I'm sure you guys, some of you have been looking too. Um,
mm.
seems to be the norm with these things. But yeah, comment down below. Um, got a personal story of your own, um, like tonight's stories, Bigfoot, you were abducted, you name it. Shoot it over to our email, obscuredr1@gmail.com. Type story in the subject line so we know what it is. Stevie, you can do the bell.
And don't forget to hit the bell so that you can be reminded every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m.
Every
Pacific, that
Friday.
every Friday that we're gonna have another episode drop.
Bling, bling,
Bling, ring, ring.
bling, bling, ring, ring. And we're out. I'm out. Are you
I'm
out?
out.
Good. It's bedtime, folks. Go to
It
bed
is. Jesus.
and pull up another video tomorrow. All right. See you guys next time.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to check back with us often for new episodes. Feel free to drop a comment and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Obscured Reality.